Hi, Greg Studley here for your second episode of A Guitarist's Guide to Improvising with Knowledge. I'm author of the book and developer of the website improvisingwithknowledge.com. This episode, we're going to focus on the major pentatonic scale shape E4. And just so you know, everything we're going to play today is available for download on the website. We're going to split this episode into 4 parts. First, we're going to cover the major pentatonic scale shape E4. Secondly, we're going to discuss the concept of relative major and minor scales. Third, we're going to cover all of the available notes across the E string. And finally, we're going to figure how you can use the major pentatonic scale for soloing over a major chord. Make sure by this point you already have a solid understanding of the natural notes across the E string, along with the minor pentatonic scale shape E1. The major pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale that can be used for soloing over a major chord and its variations. This can include chords such as major 7th chords or 7th chords, 6th chords. The scale works very well with all of these chords because there's very little dissonance between the major pentatonic scale and these chords. Here's a diagram of the major pentatonic scale shape E4. We're calling the scale shape E4 because the lowest root of the scale is located on the E string and played with the 4th finger. This is going to use fingers 1, finger 3, and finger 4 in order to play this scale. You don't have to use finger 2. So I'll show you how you can now take this scale and apply it to a spot on the neck. We're going to apply this to the key of C major. So what you want to do is find the note C on the E string. That's located here on the 8th fret. From here, you want to make sure your 4th finger is on the 8th fret. Therefore, your hand is in 5th position, meaning the 1st finger lines up with the 5th fret. We're going to take this major pentatonic scale, played from the low root up to the highest note, all the way back down to the lowest available note, and then resolving back up until we reach our root. So if you feel like you've got the idea of that scale, you may have noticed that it is the same exact finger pattern as the minor pentatonic scale shape E1. This is because every pentatonic scale can be either a major pentatonic scale or a minor pentatonic scale. If you examine the 2 diagrams of these scales, what you will find is that although the finger pattern has remained the same, the roots have changed throughout the scale. This concept is called the concept of relative pentatonic scales. A scale has a relative major scale, and a scale can also have a relative minor scale. So therefore, there's 2 scales that you can take within every pentatonic, a major pentatonic and a minor pentatonic. We're going to explore how this works by applying it to D major and B minor. The D major pentatonic is going to be played here with our hand in 7th position and our 4th finger catching the note D. Our B minor pentatonic is going to be played with the 1st finger in the exact same hand position, and it is the exact same notes. So we'll first play a D major pentatonic, starting from our low root, and then go through playing a B minor pentatonic, also starting from our low root. We're now going to move on to all of the available notes across the E strings. This way you have the ability to place this scale anywhere you may need. If you look at the diagram of the notes across the E string, this now covers all the available notes, which now includes all the flats and sharps. The concept of flats and sharps is pretty easy to understand. If a note is made sharp, it means that it is moved up by 1 fret and becomes a higher sound. If a note is made flat, it means it moves down by 1 fret and therefore becomes a lower sound. Here's an exercise you can use that will give you an idea of how to name all of these notes. We're going to start from our high note E on the 12th fret of our high E string. We're going to walk down every single fret until we reach our open string, and then we're going to walk all the way back up until we reach our high E. In doing so, on the way down, we're going to name all of these notes as flats, and on the way up, we'll be naming all of these notes as sharps. You want to say the note names aloud as you're playing, and see if you can just use your first finger. E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. One of the best exercises you can use for covering how to play this major pentatonic scale in all these new locations is to play around the circle of fifths. Circle of fifths will encompass every possible location that you can place this scale, and playing around the entire circle will really get you comfortable with your locations on the neck. We're only going to play through part of the circle of fifths to give you an idea of how to do it. We're going to move from the top of the circle, which is C, around counterclockwise until reaching A flat. This means we'll play C major pentatonic, F major pentatonic, B flat major pentatonic, E flat major pentatonic, and finally A flat major pentatonic. We're going to alternate between our low and high roots as we're playing also. This gives us a really good understanding of the scale by playing it from both sides. We'll be starting from C major pentatonic on the high root. C from the high root. From the low root. B flat from the high root. Flat from the low root. A flat from the high root. Finally, we're going to cover how you can use this major pentatonic scale for soloing over a major chord. We're going to do this in the key of D, which means that our hand is going to be in 7th position. That puts our 4th finger on the note D, so we can play our major pentatonic E4 shape. We're still going to be using very simple but solid rhythms and keeping our root as some of the longest notes that we're playing throughout this. Here you have a solo in the key of D major. Hope this episode has helped give you an understanding of the major pentatonic scale shape E4 and how you can apply it for soloing over a major chord. Please be sure to visit the website, improvisingwithknowledge.com. There you can download a tab version of all of the exercises and examples that were played today, including the solo. You can play along with the jam tracks to see how well you can solo over different major chords. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll find out information about the upcoming episodes and the book release. And our next episode is going to cover the concept of playing eighth notes and including motifs.